Hey guys, it's Andrea. I'm back with another edition of the Soldier's Letters Home. I'm reading my granddaddy's letters to my grandmother written when he was overseas in World War II. Let's get started. Next up, he's writing his squadron on here now. All passed through the base sensor. We've had one letter cut up so far, but he's done good otherwise. Ooh. Look how pretty his writing is on this one. My goodness, he must have had lots of time for this one. September 30th, 1943, 6 p.m. My darling, adorable wife, today is an important day. 1 year ago, almost to the hour, I kissed you goodbye. It's been a mighty long year, darling. Has it been as long for you? I've missed you so very much during that year. It seems like such a very long time in most respects, but yet I can see you as well. Sorry, I need to read up a little further so I can guess what he's saying. I can see you as you were that day. You are a sweet old thing, Mommy, and I do love you so very much. You are my life. I wonder if you look forward to our being together as I do. That is the one thing I look forward to and wish for. I adore you, wifey. We're going to have a wonderful life together. You're a nice little girl, Andre. I wouldn't take anything for you. It'd be wonderful to have you with me again. How I've managed to exist without you has been an unceasing wonder to me. I thought I would have died of lonesomeness long before now. I'm so lonely I could die. It's been a long time since I've had any pictures of you. I like to keep getting new ones of you, but I've got a lot of nice ones in my mind. Right now, there is a very nice one. It is one of you getting ready to take a bath. Uh-oh. I'm blushing. You've got your little silk panties on and your hair is all tied up with a green handkerchief. Maybe you're not at your best, but gosh, baby, you're beautiful. That is sweet. I love you gobs and gobs and gobs. You're the best thing in all the world. I adore you, Mommy. I'm terribly glad you're my wife. It's nice to have the best wife in all the world. I saw Rogers when I was in Cairo. He is still the fire marshal. Seems to be getting along fine. Says his wife is staying in Boston with his father and has some kind of government job there. Saw Schmuck in Suez. He is in the provost marshal's office there, military police. He is in charge of the pass and permit section. Says his wife is getting along fine. I didn't see Pothoff. He had gotten out of the hospital and was off to Palestine on leave. I hope he's okay this time. He got out of the hospital once before, but had to go back. Most of my best friends are no longer with the 303. They are scattered to the four winds. Only a few have left the Middle East. Most of them are hanging around doing this and that. By the way, they've changed the number of the 303 again. It's now the 607 Ord Bin. Original, or I don't know. Y'all probably know I don't know what that means. We had a couple of heavy rains here since my last letter. Surely we can't stay here much longer. I'm getting about to run out of ink. I want to tell you again how very much I love you. And later, and he ran out of ink. He put later. That I think you are the best little old thing in all of the whole world. It's late, darling. I must quit. I adore you. Precious mine, your Jimmy. I wish my handwriting was that pretty. That does not look like a man's writing, does it? Right here. Letter 2. We've been doing 5 a video. That seems to work out well. This one's been opened by censors as well. Old tape, you can tell, was on it. It's a long one. October 7th. Oh, wow. What was the date on the last one? Oh, October 4th. Okay. Yeah, he's writing every few days. Hello, darling. Still no letter from you. I'm feeling mighty low. It makes me feel a lot better knowing it isn't your fault. But nevertheless, whenever a long period of time goes by like this without any letters from you, I get to sinking lower and lower. I love you so very much, Andre. I don't know what I'd do without you. I think he's using a pencil this time. Today is the first day of the second year overseas. I sailed October 7th, 1942. God, but that's a long time. Surely I'll be home by this time next year. I sincerely hope so. I'm certainly getting mighty sick of this business. I have seen several new places since I've been here, but once you've seen one of these towns where the war has gone through it, you've seen them all. The flies are much worse here than any other place I've been, and they were plenty bad in the other places. We were eating out in the open, and it's a real battle to keep the flies out of the food. You can have no conception of how they swarm around. But then such things worry you a lot more when your morale is at a low ebb, as mine is now. When your letters get here, I'll begin to feel much better. It's been almost 3 weeks now. The food here is terrible, too. So is the wind and the sandstorms. In fact, everything is terrible. Did I tell you I bought you something real nice in Cairo? I do have one thing I need to show y'all that he brought from Cairo. It's a carving of the Sphinx. I still have it. That's the only thing I have that I know he brought back from the war, besides these letters. You'll be terribly fond of it, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. By the way, I don't suppose you've gotten that box of junk I sent you yet. There is nothing much in it that's any good. The hunting here is wonderful, but there aren't enough guns and shells to go around, so that's terrible too. I've taken a few two pot shots at birds with a rifle, but a rifle is absolutely no good for shooting at birds. I'm going to try to get off one day soon and go into the mountains and try for deer. He was a huge hunter. I mean, it's like safari hunts. I remember in the den of their home, his taxidermied animals. Like, he didn't have like the normal deer and fish. He had like a huge standing black bear. He had, bobcats. I mean, he had huge animals. Like, they would go other countries and do safaris and hunt. Here we go. I'm going to try to get off one day soon and go into the mountains and try for a deer. They say there are a good many up there. Transportation is pretty scarce, and it's almost impossible to get a car to go somewhere. Let's see if I can't think of anything else that's terrible. Oh, yes. It looks like we are going to move back to where we just came from. And that's very bad. I certainly don't want to do that. I find that one of the guys having the same job as mine in one of the other squadrons has been a first lieutenant for about 1.5 years and still no promotion in sight. That's not very good for the morale either. If you want to do something for me, you can send me a package of... What? Every week. A package of peanuts? Okay. If you can't get them in the can, send them in the jar or bottle. If you pack them pretty well, they won't break. A package of... That can't... What in the world is that? Is it peanut? Why would peanuts break? Oh, maybe the glass jar of them. I really would appreciate them. The food is pretty terrible, and there isn't enough of it, and it's almost impossible to buy anything to eat. But if that will cause you to cut down on your little writing time, don't do it. If that's going to cause you to cut down on your letter writing, don't do it, because I'd rather have a letter from you than anything. Letters from you do mean a heck of a lot, darling. Gosh, but I'm crazy about you. You're the most wonderful old thing in all the world. These damned flies drive you crazy. They crawl all over you, and you just can't chase them away. If I do go crazy over here, it's going to be due to the flies more than any other factor. The natives over here don't put up any fight against them. They just let them crawl all over them. I suppose in the long run, that's the best idea. If you tried to fight them all your life, you'd be sure to go crazy. We have fixed up our tent finally. Fairly nice now. We have fixed up our tent fairly nice now. We tore up a bunch of boxes. We tore up a bunch of bomb boxes and put in a nice wood floor. Oh, well, look at them. We are building up the sides about 2 feet and raise the tent up that much. That would give you a lot more room that way. We figured if we got fixed up real nice, then we'd have to move right away. And we figured it would be up to Italy. Instead, it looks like it's going to be in the other direction, back where we came from. The truck convoy just got in. It took them 10 days to get here. It took me 5 hours to do it. Quite a difference, huh? Well, maybe I'd better end this. I don't have anything to say anyway. It's mighty hard to write a letter without getting any. Let me tell you once more that I love you very, very much, that I think of you constantly, and that I think you are the most wonderful little girl in the world. You're nice, gosh, but I love you. Yours always, Jimmy. I miss you something awful. Letter 2. Letter 2. October 14th, 1943. My darling, still no mail from you. Oh no. I'm about to give up all hopes of ever getting any. Oh, I've had a pretty bad stroke of luck. I sent most of my stuff up by truck on our last move. When it got here, both of my foot lockers had been broken into and everything of any value was taken out. They really cleaned me out. The worst thing of it all was that all of my pictures albums, they took that and all of my negatives. I just can't get over the heart to start all over again. I spent a great deal of time, to say nothing of money, on it. I had pictures of practically everything I had seen. It was really nice, and I was terribly proud of it. I don't see why they had to take my negatives. They probably never even used them. I had around 200 pictures that I had collected from everywhere. I wouldn't have taken anything for it. They took everything, from razor blades and toothbrushes to my collection of Italian and German pistols. Luckily, I took your presents in my bag with me, so they didn't get those. They got around $200 worth of stuff, which was probably, how much did we say? Because before I looked it up and it was like $1,500 and it was something like $50. So that's a lot more than $200 today. But I really don't mind anything but those pictures. They also got a bunch of my films so that I can't take any more pictures. They made a good job, such as life. Am enclosing 200. Went hunting a couple of times, got 5 birds once and 4 the other time. They really were good. Large birds and all white meat. First meat other than hash I've had in a long time. Nothing new, so I'll quit. Gosh, but I love you, darling. I'm so very lonesome for you. I wish I could hear from you. This is a long old war, isn't it? It'll be heaven to get to see you in my arms again. Your ever-loving Jimmy. Sad. Yeah, let me double check how much 200 was. Well, Google says $200 in 1943 was equal to about $1,700 today. Is this the third? I think this is the third. This is a long one. He must have got a letter. He must have heard from her, because this is a long one. Oh my goodness. I hope he got a letter. October 21st, 1943. Answer. Yep, he got a letter. Number 164, answer to number 127. My darling wife, today my morale went up 4 big jumps. Yes, that's right. I got 4 letters from you. It's wonderful to hear from you again. Whew. It had been over a full month since I'd heard from you. And you can tell you love me too. Aw, I'm crazy about you, darling mine. I'm terribly glad you miss me and are lonesome for me. And although it's a horrible thing to wish on anyone, I hope you feel as badly as I do over being apart. I'm glad you think about our meeting to come. You say you're going to feel very strange. I don't think so. It'll be the most natural thing in the world. I had been a long time, though. It has been a long time, though, hadn't it? I'll say we've got a lot to talk about. Most of it convincing me. Most of it something of me telling you how much I've missed you and telling you how much I love you. That's going to take a long time for me to finish. That's sweet. Oh no, my battery's running low. I know shopping must be pretty bad. Prices are way up and you can't find what you want even if you do have the money to pay for it. But you ought to try shopping in the places I have to. Of course, I have everything I need or can buy it from the Army, but when I do try to buy a little something to send home, it's pitiful. I was in Tamar trying to get you something. I hunted all over, and the only thing I saw that I could send at all were little rayon hankies. When they told me they wanted $2.50, I told them what they could do with it. Of course, he couldn't understand what I told him, but I told him anyway. So you don't like blue coveralls. Can't say as I blame you. I don't like to work either. I'll bet your sweater is cute. If I could only see you in it. Ho hum, sometimes I get discouraged. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry to hear about the condition of your teeth? Gosh, that must have been awful. I bet you're glad to have it over with. I don't see how you can worry about a little thing like the bill when a guy is grinding away on your tooth. If there is anything that gets me, that's it. We have gotten several rains here, but none of them amounted to much. I thought they would be here before now. In regards to the cables, I was speaking of APO 616, not 498. You addressed them to 616, you say, and that was right. I never did give you 498, and I don't know how you even knew the number. You got it off the money order I sent you. They had you change... Wait... They had more chance of my getting them from 616 than 498. I can't understand why I never did get them. Other people always get them. Although they were sometimes late. Maybe it was because I moved around so much. I'm not sure what he's talking about. You ask about Roger and Schmuck. I thought I had told you, but let's suppose it slipped me. She probably just hadn't got the letter yet. Roger made first lieutenant about the same time I did, and Schmuck made it a little bit after that. I haven't heard from Potsy in some time. You hadn't received my last letter saying he was out of the hospital. I haven't seen him in months. I'm doing much better with my letters, am I not? They're all in ink with no pencil mixed in. Yes, baby, it will be wonderful to be together again. I think that a very good idea of yours not to fuss anymore. I think it's a very good idea of yours not to fuss anymore. I really don't think we will. Yeah, they'll never fight. Right? I believe we'd be able to get along swell. If you think that Ford is rough or hard to control, you ought to have to depend on Jeeps or trucks for your transportation. Of course, something rides smooth on good roads, but you ought to try making your own roads as you go along. My seat is just one big callus by now. The worst part is on your insides. I think half of me shakes loose. I adore you, baby. I see you're getting way behind in your letter writing, so I'll answer a couple of your letters in this one, so you won't have to write 2 back to me. Ain't I sweet? Answer to number 128. So glad you liked the pictures. I thought the ones where I was wearing the pipe were awful, except the one where I have my feet on the table. I'm looking off to the side and look kind of wall-eyed. The money is Egyptian, but didn't you like the one of me behind the statue? I thought that was the best of all. That is a bit ironical, you telling me not to send the picture if I was afraid the censor would take them. That is just what I did, and someone else took the whole works. I still feel badly about those. I bet he was gutted. Okay, I'll send you some more pictures if you'll send me some. It's been a long time since I've gotten any. No, I took the pictures with regulation film, but my camera has adjustments you can change to give more or less light. Yours doesn't. The haircut is not... I don't know what that says. The haircut is not DI. Probably means it's not up to code, dress code or something. But pretty close to it. I like it that way, just long enough to take apart. I love you, sweet. You're a dear old thing. I think about you constantly. What I wouldn't give to be able to see you right now. Just think, we could buy some ice cream and milk and hamburgers and barbecue and beer and cokes and steaks, and you could talk in English and we could be understood. And get real potatoes. It seems like that is something that exists only in dreams. By the way, have you ever heard the song, I'm Dreaming of a White Mistress? A place with no wogs. That sounds too good to be true, but I can dream anyway. Ooh, granddaddy. I hope you had a nice time on your trip and didn't get all excited and not eat and lose a lot of weight. I'm surprised. I thought you said Charlotte couldn't see Bill after melting. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm surprised. I thought you said Charlotte couldn't see Bill after meeting the tall, dark married duck. I know exactly how you feel. I, too, would like to go somewhere and do something. There is nothing any dreader, nothing any, I don't know, than a town the war has passed through. Okay. Maybe nothing any deader than the town a war has passed through. Imagine. The most exciting thing you can do around here is to teach a bartender to say Tufsky shitsy when he doesn't have any change. The most exciting thing you can do around here is to teach a bartender to say Tufsky shitsy when he doesn't have any change, or teach an elderly French couple to say, no fucking bueno. We have done that too. Had in our travels. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Stella came in. We haven't done too bad in our travels. You've lived in Mississippi, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, and have been through a good many more states. Just give us more time. You didn't mention how long you were to stay. Of course, you wouldn't want to stay in the hotel by yourself, and you know I wouldn't want you to. There are exceptions to every rule. Don't try to make a martyr of yourself, Andre. I merely told you I would rather you didn't date and gave my reasons. You agreed to inform me if you did otherwise. What is this? And I didn't tell you not to speak of Charlotte. I merely objected about 5 pages out of 6 talking about the life and loves of Charlotte. But you still managed to get in that Charlotte bought a beautiful new fall wardrobe. I still believe that you get more money than she does. Remember, she gets some on the side, and I still haven't told you not to use whatever. And I still haven't told you not to use whatever you want of that's in the bank. Can't say I exactly approve of you tearing off to New York, but if it'll make you happy, I don't see why you don't. But take my advice and don't go by air. Aside from the money points of you, no small one, flying is the most boring thing in the world. Besides, you don't get to see anything. I finally got around to throwing away those shoes you got for me that were the wrong size. I haven't worn them but 4 or 5 times. There is nowhere to buy any decent shoes here. But then I never dress, so I don't need dress shoes. Make sure I didn't skip a page. No, I don't think so. Yeah. It's too bad now that I have your foot size and don't have anywhere to get the shoes. Such is life. I thought it rather remarkable that the outline of your stocking foot was longer than the outline of your shoe. What? Not only wider, but longer. Oh my gosh. It is not a question of mistaken identity either, because one has the outline where you traced around your toes. You buy shoes too small for you, my dear. You're going to have foot troubles when you get older. That is so funny. Yeah, welcome to women's footwear. No, they don't buy them for comfort. It's late, baby. I gotta quit. Remember, darling, I love you, heart, body, and soul. You are my everything. I surely was thrilled to get your letters after such a long time. Be a good girl, Mommy, because I love you so very much. You're Jimmy. You're mine. That was a good one. He had a pretty good sense of humor, I think. Don't y'all? Next. This is the last I think this is our 5th. Not the last of them, the last of today's. Five letters usually gets us about 50 minutes. Okay, we have October. I keep going to the side, I know, over here, and I don't know why. October 22, my darling. There's a couple of short letters. I'm not doing wrong, am I, by answering 2 of your letters with 1 of mine? At the time I received them, you were 9 letters behind. And I just put in 4 or 5 extra letters when I wasn't receiving any from you. You will do a good job if you ever catch up. I hadn't intended to write anymore unless I received one from you, but of course, as I knew it wasn't your fault, I continue to write because if you feel anything like I do, you want to hear from me. Sweet. I believe I told you that the Reader's Digest was printed over here, and I got it. And get it, or a rule. I just print it over here, and I get it. Or a rule. Or soon as you do. Okay, I understand now. I understand. Sorry, let's do this again. I believe I told you that the Reader's Digest was printed over here, and I get it. As a rule. As soon as you do. Yes, I had seen that about the poor fish in the marine. Yes, I've read a good bit about girls marrying several guys from the allotments and possible insurance. I read about one marrying 11? I believe it was. What? That is pretty bad. But it doesn't scam as... But it doesn't seem, okay, pretty bad, but it doesn't seem as dumb as your Peggy. They had a pretty good chance of getting away with it. From what you told me of Peggy, she didn't have a ghost of a chance. I can't just see you running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to get ready for your TRYs, for your tries. I could just see you running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to get ready for your trips. Maybe someday you'll become a seasoned veteran like me. The thumping voice you hear in me is me hitting my chest. They give me an hour's notice, and I pack all of my stuff and pack my bag so that I can live out of it for a couple of weeks. You can get used to anything. I'm about 2 weeks. I covered almost enough distance to have taken me home. Glad you didn't mind my typing those letters. It got to me. I got to where I could almost type again before I left there. You asked what happened to the girls who used to type for me. If you recall, that was back in Cairo. I left there long ago. To be quite frank, the gal that did my typing wasn't so hot. I can't ever recall her not having to do one over. But she was pretty. But she was pretty. At least. But, maybe it says, but at least she was pretty. He shouldn't say that. He would have a fit if she said some dude was cute. You asked about the chickens. Oh, yes, of course they were alive. We'd keep them around a few days and feed them good food before killing them. The colored boys in one of our outfits would cook them. Yes, indeed, it tasted like Southern fried, 'cause came straight from the South, and you sit there and say, I don't like it. You should try a steady diet of stew and hash and stew for a while. We get records of a lot of the programs such as Jack Benny, Red Skelton, Bob Hope, and when Gangbusters. It went gangbusters. Oh, they got records to listen to. Oh, nice. They're usually pretty old, but we enjoy them. So you are mailing me a Christmas present. You'll never learn, will you? Yes, it should reach me by Christmas, but you can never tell. If there's something in it, I'll probably like it. He asked for that before, peanuts. If there's peanuts in it, I'll probably like it. If not, well, I don't know. Frankly, if I were to sit down myself and try to figure out something for myself, I couldn't do it. There ain't nothing except you. I spent all of my time wishing for you. Hot dog, you're getting your picture taken. I hope you send me some as soon as you get it. The maps shots are good. Oh, the snapshots are good to carry around with me. And whenever anyone gives you the best excuse, pop it out at them. That's sweet. That is so sweet. The only thing I can use, the one I have for it is to, let me see. I got to read ahead a little bit to figure out the words. Pause. Okay, he's talking about her pictures. I think I've got it figured out. Hot dog, you're getting your picture taken. I hope you send it as soon as you get it. The snapshots are good to carry around with you, and whenever anyone gives you the best excuse, the least excuse, pop it out at them. But I need one to set in the tent. The only thing I can use the one I have for is to scare off the mother that tried to get into the trunk. I guess he's saying that was pretty bad. Seriously, though, darling, I do hope it comes out good. So he's joking her. You're such a pretty old thing, and I do want a picture that does you justice. Life around here is pretty dull. Thin paper. Never much doing, and my job doesn't call for my doing much. Ever hear any more about Duffy or Clem? Still enjoy my swims. Have to take them somewhere around noon, though, or it's too cool to enjoy. I'm looking forward very much to the next bunch of pictures you spoke of. Gosh, but I love you, darling. I wonder whether I'll get mine before I see you again. I hope not. I wonder if I will what? Get. I wonder if I'll get before I see you again. I don't know. I think of you constantly. You are a nice little girl, Mommy. The best ever. I love you with all my heart. Your ever faithful hubby. What'd y'all feel about this group of letters? Hope you enjoyed this set of letters. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe if you like to watch. And I'll see you at the next one.